have now reached an era of not just smartphones and dumb attention spans, but also smarter AI algorithms that are subconsciously training us to be scroll happy zombies by eroding our critical thinking skills and turning our brains into a billboard for ads and propaganda, barely hanging by a thread over a tsunami of brain dead content. Hi, I'm Sanctity and welcome to my anti-brain rot series that I like to call the Thinking Sanctuary. With this series, I invite you to meet me right here every once in an introspective while to clear your head and flip it into a vessel for vast human potential. Think of it as a cognitive retreat where you come to reclaim your creative self in a world that constantly wants you distracted and drained. By the end of this series, you will digest this book by arguably the most goated artist alive, Rick Rubin. I'm not gonna spend much time justifying why he's goated. Google it. His approach to art is minimal, emphasizing raw emotion and authenticity over technical perfection. In this book, he applies the same philosophy to creativity itself, offering insights on how you can unlock your creative potential regardless of your medium. Rick believes that creativity isn't a rare ability or something special just a selective few are born with. It's not difficult to access. In fact, it's the fundamental aspect of being human. It could be a conversation, a solution, a letter, moving furniture, birthing a child, raising a child, or walking to the grocery store, hell, even dancing to the grocery store. Point being that what you're creating doesn't have to be witnessed, recorded, sold, or encased in a glass box in a museum for it to be called art. So being an artist isn't something that you do. It's something that you already are. And if you've forgotten that in that little hamster wheel of self-doubt that you keep running on, let me remind you that you can come back to your creative self whenever you like by just observing the world around you and participating in it differently. Another pick is The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Martin Scorsese loves it. Doichi went from this to this just by reading this book and documenting her progress throughout. If you think of the universe as a vast electrical sea in which you are immersed and from which you are formed, opening up to your creativity changes you from something bobbing in that sea to a more fully functioning, more conscious, more cooperative part of that ecosystem. Julia perceives creativity as being one with the source. Source could be your God, the architect of the simulation you're living in, the Tao, or just this collective energy that caused the Big Bang. The goal is to form a creative alliance, artist to artist, with that energy. But before you form that alliance, you must strip yourself naked of all the preconceived notions that you have about creativity. Especially take this test to check if you're creatively blocked. If your answer to any of these questions is a yes, I have news for you. Are there artists you resent? Do you tell yourself, I could do that if only... ... You tell yourself it's too late. You're waiting just to make the enough money to do something you love. You tell yourself that it's just my ego whenever you yearn a creative life. You tell yourself that dreams don't matter and they're only dreams and you should be more sensible. You fear that your friends and family would think you're crazy. Don't worry. I got you. I'm gonna be breaking down core principles in both of these books to unlock your highest potential, something that your 15-year-old self always dreamt of before the noise cracked in. And in that process, I'll not only give you a piece of my mind, but also document my progress in the following episodes to put these self-help books to test. I'd honestly love it if you joined me and we did this together. So feel free to comment where you are right now with your creative identity and maybe use every episode as a journal to write down your progress, talk to each other, inspire and get inspired by this online oasis that I like to call the Thinking Sanctuary.